A whole new financial infrastructure is being built as we speak, but it's not for stocks and it's not for crypto. It's for what might be the most valuable commodity of the next 100 years, licensed content for artificial intelligence. And today, we're going to break down exactly how it works. So let's just get right to it. Artificial intelligence is literally built on the work of human creators. But for years, AI companies have pretty much just taken that work without asking and definitely without paying. And this has kicked off a massive, massive conflict between the tech giants of the future and the actual people creating the content that makes it all possible. So just how big is this problem? Well, take a look at this number, $1.5 billion. That's the settlement figure from the largest copyright case in U.S. history. It involved the AI company Anthropic and, get this, hundreds of thousands of authors whose books were used to train their models. So yeah, this isn't some small squabble. This is a full-blown financial reckoning. And this is exactly how creators see it. I mean, can you blame them? They look at these AI models being trained on the entire internet, all their videos, their articles, their art, and they call it what it is, the largest unauthorized intellectual property extraction in history. It's a fundamental clash between how AI is built and how people actually make a living. Okay, so we have this huge problem. But what if the answer isn't just endless lawsuits? What if it's new infrastructure? The solution we're looking at today is a system that's actually modeled on a 100-year-old idea, just rebuilt for our new tech era. The easiest way to think about it? It's like an ASCIP for artificial intelligence. All right, so the core of this whole system is something called a pocket. So what is a pocket? Well, basically, it takes a creator's entire library, every video they've ever made, every article, all the descriptions and data, and it packages it all up into a single, structured, machine-readable asset. It's not just a messy folder of files anymore. It's a perfectly organized library, ready for licensed AI access. And this is where the light bulb really goes on for a lot of people. The model for this is over a century old. Back in 1914, ASCAP was created to be the middleman between radio stations and musicians, to make sure songwriters actually got paid when their music was played on the air. Puckets is designed to do the exact same thing for today. It sits right between the AI agents and the content creators to license the content, track its usage, and make sure creators get paid automatically. Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does it actually work? How does a creator's entire library of videos get turned into one of these monetizable assets? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how these pockets are actually made. It's a technical process, for sure, but it's built to be totally seamless for the creator. So this is the magic right here. It's a 6-step chronological protocol that makes it all happen. It all starts with a script that analyzes a creator's whole channel. Then it automatically pulls out all the metadata and every single transcript. All that raw data gets compiled, then it's given a unique digital fingerprint so it can be tracked, and finally, it's registered as a live, active, licensed asset. It's basically an automated assembly line that turns a creator library into a monetizable pocket. And you know what the absolute best part of this whole thing is for creators? They don't have to lift a finger. This entire technical workflow is handled for them. They just give permission for their channel, and their life's work gets converted into an asset that can actually earn the money. Okay, so that's great for creators, but why would an AI company ever go for this? Well, here's the kicker. It's not a burden for them. It's a massive, massive upgrade. The old way, web scraping, takes over 20 seconds just to pull content from a single page. A licensed pull from a pocket takes under 30 milliseconds. That's not just a little faster, it's over 600 times faster. The AI gets perfectly clean, structured, licensed data at lightning speed, and the creator gets paid. Everybody wins. Right? But the question you're probably asking is, why can't Google or OpenAI just build this themselves? It's a great question. And the answer is a 2-part defensive moat built on both intellectual property and a really fundamental problem of trust. First up, intellectual property. This system is protected. We're talking about 6 provisional patents that have already been filed with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and they cover the entire end-to-end system. And this isn't just one patent for one little thing. It's a full stack of technology. The patents cover everything from content delivery and payments all the way to defensive tools, like something called a discovery honeypot to find unlicensed AIs, and even a system that can detect and prove if a model has used your content illegally. It's a fully integrated defensive system. But honestly, the second part of the moat might be even stronger. And it all comes down to trust. Think about it. If Google builds its own system, every creator is going to ask the same question. So Google is greeting Google's homework. It's the classic fox guarding the henhouse. For a system like this to work, for creators to actually adopt it, it has to be independent. It needs to be a neutral third party. And I really want to drive this point home. This is not just some idea on a whiteboard. It's real. We're talking over 100,000 lines of working, production-ready code, all built by a single founder, Chris Coyne. And he built it for a very personal reason, to protect his own daughter, who's a creator, from having her work devalued by massive corporations. This is a real, operational, and mission-driven system. So we've got the tech, we've got the patents, we've got the trust factor. But what does this look like in the real world? What's the financial impact? Let's take a look at how this actually becomes the AI toll road. So the flagship case study, the first major partner to come on board, is Dar-Mon Studios. And if you know anything about the creator economy, you know that Dar-Mon isn't just some YouTuber. He is an absolute titan, a media empire with a network of over 10,000 other creators. Just to give you a sense of scale here, the Dar-Man network has a combined following of over 163 million people across all their platforms. That's the kind of critical mass you need to set a new standard for an entire industry. And the library of content? It's just staggering. We're talking 19.5 billion total views on YouTube alone. Think about that. That is a gigantic, valuable library of data that, once it's converted into pockets, becomes an incredibly powerful, monetizable asset. So what does that translate to in actual dollars? Well, these are the mid-range projections, and they're not just pulled out of thin air. They're based on real, court-validated data from that Anthropic settlement we talked about. For just this one studio, you're looking at a potential one-time settlement in the millions, plus an annual recurring revenue stream that could reach over $70 million, all from licensing the content they've already made.
So let's wrap this all up. The writing is on the wall. The legal pressure, the market pressure, it's all pointing in one direction. The days of AI companies just scraping the entire internet for free, well, those days are numbered. So the question we're left with isn't if AI is going to pay creators. They will. The real question is, who builds the toll road?